Discover the Women in Tech Trailblazers podcast, hosted by Tiffany Benitez. Here, the complexities of being a woman in the tech industry are unraveled through discussions on key issues, personal growth, and how to succeed despite systematic challenges. It's a source of empowerment and inspiration for all women at all stages of their tech careers. Welcome to Women in Tech Trailblazers. I am so excited to be back with all of you today for another episode. Although I will tell you, I have no idea how today's episode is or going to flow. The topic is a reveal all episode. So I was asked by two leaders in our community if they could take over the episode today and kind of have me as the guest. And so the answer, of course, was sure. So I have no idea what to expect, but what I do know is that these two leaders are incredible women and very well versed, not just in their careers, but in the community and their hearts overall. So I'm excited to turn it over to these ladies, and I'll let them introduce themselves and take it from here.
Thank you, Tiffany. And hello, everybody. I'm Kasturi. I'm a confidence coach. I go by KJ. I'm a confidence coach, and I also have a role at Walmart as product manager for the finance organization. And I've been working with Tiffany and Women in Tech for a bunch of times, and now we're friends. And just over drinks one day, exactly what Tiffany said. Sapna and I want to flip the script on this one, because we all know and love Tiffany. She gets on stages, she brings other people on stage, and she's an absolute trailblazer, right? But there's very little that we know about her as a person. So she actually has no idea of the questions that Sapna and I have prepared, and we've been emailing each other and saying, okay, this is what we could ask of Tiffany. So we are just going to make this fun and organic and have a wonderful conversation with Tiffany to get to know her more in depth. Yeah, so that's the plan.
Yeah, and I'm so excited to be here. Hello, everybody. My name is Sapna, and I am I am a very proud advisory board member on Women in Tech. So really grateful for Tiffany for giving me that opportunity, like way in the beginning of when all of this started. And I also work at Engine, a data science company, as VP of People. And again, to echo what both of them said, all of the great things happen when you're having a drink or two and eating a slice of pizza.
Yes.
And that's when great ideas are formed, right? So here we are. Everybody knows Tiffany, and everybody has only great things to say about Tiffany, but we have a whole different Tiffany for you today. We're going to just, bring out the best in her through our questions and see what she's got. Total surprise. She's got no clue what's going to happen today. So let's dive in.
Yeah. And it's going to be a complete reveal, like Tiffany was saying, right, Tiffany? And you're ready, right?
Ready. I'm ready.
Yeah,
Let's go.
Okay, so here's our first question for you. One of the things that you talk about on your podcasts is around mentorship, right? You've spoken a lot about mentorship in your podcast. You've asked other people their thoughts about it. So we wanted to know what your journey around mentorship has been, and who's been a mentor to you, and what are some specific invaluable things that you've gotten over to learn.
I would tell you, I do not think I would be where I am without the mentors that I've had in my life. And I know that's pretty generic. I mean, typically all of us say that in some way, shape, or form. But the thing I look back on is very few of my mentors over my career have been women. Most of the people that have mentored me have been men. And I'm very appreciative of that, because I would say I've been able to see another side of things. It is also, though, helpful to have somebody kind of walking, we walk different journeys, but as a woman walking this particular journey, especially in technology, where the reality is there's 28% of us, right? And that number is even up from earlier in my career, 25 years ago. And so what I really wished I had is women that could have walked that journey with me. I have zero regret. So I think that it's all kind of worked out the way that it should. But me wanting or wishing something happened gives and drives me to go and be that. that for the next set of girls and women that are coming in, and even peers, right? I think mentorship isn't about age. It's not about exactly where you are in your career. It's that you have something that you've walked through, and we all have, right? And your career path and journey in general, and just even from a community perspective, how do you use what you've done and what you've been given to give back to other people? And that is the heart of everything that I stand for, regardless of what I'm doing, whether it's at work, whether it's in the community. It's how do I take the things that I have overcome, that I have been blessed with, the things that I've walked through, and really turn around and be a place for other people to, I don't tell them how to get through. We all have our own journey, but it's sharing a little bit about how I have made my way. I will say, and this is probably no surprise to you ladies and really to anyone, because when there are people that truly stand out and do things in an incredible way, I believe we need to truly recognize that. And I would say from day one, from our very first conversation, before I ever even took a role under her, Danielle Bischoff Forsyth, she, the CTO of Seven Brew, previously of Tyson Foods, title aside, she has stood for me and advocated for me and said my name in rooms that like I had no idea she was in. I had no idea my name was even brought up. And I use her as an example because in my career, again, there's very few women that have really stood for me. Truthfully, if I'm being honest, I've had more people maybe like pulling in a different direction versus like pushing me forward. And I think that's a reality that most women leaders face in some way, shape, or form. But Danielle has been that since day one. So I do want to give her a huge shout out. And then again, like Mark is my current CIO or my current, mentor. He's the CIO of Masco. He's incredible. He has given me guidance. He's helped me navigate what CIO will look like. And I just think there's been so many incredible people, and I would not be who I am or where I am without any of them. So huge value, but biggest note, turn around and be that. Stop waiting for a title. Stop waiting for whatever it is you're waiting on, but turn around and be that for somebody behind you.
Yeah.
Awesome. Tiffany, you know what your purpose is. You know what your calling is. You're very, very clear about these things. You know, your purpose and your calling is uplifting everybody around you, especially women, especially in technology. So do you ever feel like there is part of you or part of your journey that people misunderstand? Or do you feel like there are parts of your character or who you are that you feel is not fully understood by people around you or anybody for that matter?
Absolutely. So when you're a strong woman, there's lots of people that don't understand that. I would say traditionally from the beginning of time, we have like a few examples of like really strong women that like stood up and stood out. And I think, okay, they're recognized versus being the norm, and you should be recognized. But how do we go from someone being a strong person that is confident in their walk and their capabilities in what it is they feel like they're doing, from that being offensive to being something that is celebrated, and not just as necessarily the person, but like, how can I come beside you and learn and grow from that? I think the reality is like our first reaction when again, I'm a woman, so I can't really speak for men, but like as a strong woman that walks in a room, my very first reaction, men are mostly fine. It's usually fine. There are a few insecure males that are like, oh no, but mostly they're fine. They're very welcoming. The seat at the table's there, right? I get to use my voice and make sure I use it well. But my first reaction from most females is a negative reaction. It's funny. I always get this response of like, once I talked to you, it was great. But your first reaction when I walk into a room for most women is not to like me. I don't exactly know why that is. I've collected a little bit of like feedback over the years from neutral people, like women I don't know, and just wondered how they felt when that happened. And the consistent response that I've gotten back is, you just show up very strong and confident. And people that are not super confident or still figuring that out in their journey, it feels a little bit scary or intimidating or offensive to them. And I think if someone feels intimidating to you, I think you should go back and check yourself. Like, are they intimidating or you're intimidated? And that's two different things. And so, and honestly, if I can just be real, like it's taken me a really long journey to truly walk fully in that confidence. I mean, I'm recovering people pleaser. I think a lot of us have that journey. And again, because I didn't have women mentoring me earlier in my career to say like, hey, this is okay. And you've been given this voice and you've been given this knowledge and skill set. Now use it and create space for other people. Like, I had to figure that out because, like you said, my purpose is people, and my purpose is advocating for those that are underrepresented and creating space for them. But no one told me like that was okay. and that we should do that. And all I saw was females in corporate constantly like pitted against each other and competing and like, the underhanded things. And so I am human, and it is a very painful journey, but it's one that I think after into your 40s, the amount of things you care about starts getting smaller. And I don't care. I do fully know what I'm walking in. I don't have all the answers. I don't know what tomorrow looks like, but my commitment to myself and to everyone around me is that I can no longer show up in rooms as the watered down version of what you need to feel better about yourself. So whether you're male or female, I'm going to show up, and I'm going to fully show up, and hey, let's show up and lock arms and do great things together.
Yeah.
And for what it's worth, I'm going to say that the first time you and I met was at the Women in Tech table at the Tech Summit, and I absolutely fell in love with you. So it's not all women or all men who see you for the first time feel like that. But you're right. There are so many who do.
Yeah, and my experience was the same, and we've spoken about this over drinks, Tiffany. I really, really liked you, and I was like, everything that you've spoken about mentorship and what your answer just was, I think you're doing exactly what you feel like wasn't done for you. You've created a space for women, and you do it as a mission, as a woman on purpose. You've created small little nooks wherever you can find space. You've created that space for women to come and shine and speak their story. Now it is up to them to lift themselves up. So I absolutely liked you. I did fear that you didn't like me, but oh my God, does Tiffany like me? But I really liked you, and I admire everything that you bring to the table, the person that you are, and the way you lead. Amazing.
Thank you. It's refreshing to hear, and I think we probably should be careful about the everybody statements. That's not really the case. I know both of you are leaders in the community that I also looked at. We've talked about this. It's funny, like we really did have like pizza and a couple of drinks, right? And not a lot, like we just shared a couple of glasses of wine. But the conversation that happens in those organic places where it's not so staged, it's not and you can just authentically speak for your heart. I think there was a lot of revelation there, right? Like I look to both of you guys. You guys are both incredible inspirations in different ways to different parts of this community. But as women, we are one, right? Yeah. And as women, we may be off on these separate paths, but it's so important that we come to these tables, right? And make time for a coffee, make time to go get a piece of pizza. Like, I know we're busy. I know we're like raising kids and trying to do our jobs and trying to lead in the community, but none of that happens without relationship. Like, we were created for community. And so how we do that and you make time for what matters. So really make time for those relationships. Like, Sapna, you and I, like, we're soul sisters. The very first time we met, it was like, I'm telling you, like, it was so weird. Like, it all so completely aligned. And then I truly like laughed, like not in a terrible way when KJ was like, I didn't think you liked me. I'm like, oh, fun. Like truly, like until you like, and honestly, I still will always love everyone. Now, I may not like what you do, and we might not be at the same table. If you're hurting other people, we're not going to do it. But like, I just truly love everyone. And so I laughed when I heard that, because like, not at her feelings, but at like, oh my gosh, like, I don't know if it's the RBF, the tired, I don't know, but it was hilarious. It was a great conversation.
Yeah. And before we move on to my next question, right, for anybody who's watching or listening, right, this is true. I've seen Sapna and Tiffany together, like when we were all three of us. It's weird how they like, almost they turn towards each other. They are on the same wavelength, and they'll suddenly hug and suddenly cry and suddenly laugh, and it's an amazing relationship to just like observe.
That is crazy. And just like how Tiffany said that a lot of things are staged, some of it is not staged. I do want to tell the viewers that what we're doing right now is absolutely organic, absolutely intentional, but absolutely real. It won't get more real than this right now. Except that we don't have a couple drinks right now.
Yeah, I wish I did though. Okay. So next question, Tiffany. Now I want you to answer this in two parts. One is a serious part and the other is a fun part. Okay. If you could instantly master one skill, what would it be? So I want you to think of a superpower and then you can talk about a real life skill also.
Okay, so you want me to start with fun?
Your call.
Okay. If I had one master skill, I'm gonna start with fun because I like fun, that I wish I had. Oh, this is so unstaged. Like, I'm like, okay, truthfully, I feel like it would be my speed for travel. And I know that sounds terrible, but like the speed for travel, because I feel like where you set your feet is an opportunity. I don't care if that's a grocery store, another state, a platform, a daycare center. I mean, I don't care where you set your feet, but I truly believe that wherever you set your feet is an opportunity to truly love and be liked to people. And so the more I can do that, like for me, that's my purpose. Like we talked about, I do clearly know like what my purpose and calling are. And I do feel like being and creating space and kind of being love and light to others is super, super important to me. So I would figure out how somehow to master the speed of getting to create and be more love and light to people, and less about me, more about what they feel when whoever the person that comes is gone, and that they feel empowered to do that for the next person. Because that's the deal. Whatever you do for someone, if you impact folks in any way, shape, or form, right, whether that's a community group, a hug, I mean, whatever, people feel then empowered and good to go and do that for someone else. And that's the replication that this chaos and crazy world we're living in right now, these times, that's what we need more of. Like, find something good and then go replicate that. And if each one person does that, you know, how much better would the world be? Sorry, but that would be my ideal. And then I would say on the other side of what I feel like I would really like, a skill that I'd really like to master, and this is like professionally or
whatever
Okay.
comes to mind.
Okay. A skill that I'd really like to master is the ability for people to stop looking at hierarchies as much. And again, I don't know exactly. I mean, I feel like there's different ways, like I'm trying to do this now, but when I'm not going to sit here and talk to you about skill mastery. So I'm not a person that really sits on a bucket list. Like whatever I want to do, I go do it. Like I don't wait. If it's a travel, if it's a certification, if it's X, Y, or Z, I just go do it. So I don't have this like long list of like what's next. That this is a weird season for me of like, I don't actually even know. I'm just kind of living in today. And I know that if I continue to do great things will come. But I really do wish I could find a way, especially for women, but honestly, I see this across culture in general and across cultures. So this isn't a culture, okay? But taking the amount of money and titles that we have and letting that dictate who we are and how valuable we are in a community. So figuring out how to remove, like, it's okay. You've worked really hard and you've earned your spot. No one's trying to take that away from you, but we all are humans. We all like get up and put our clothes on in a similar fashion. Our blood is all the same, right? And so how do we really like, you earn those things and you have respect for those things, and that's great. But I think removing that from humanity so we really all start locking arms to grow together. I really truly wish there's a way, and there has to be a way. Maybe being the example, like many of us do. It's not just a me thing, but being an example of actually showing that. But truthfully, that is what I wish to master. And I'm working really hard to be on the funny things. I don't know if that travel thing will ever happen, but I'm really trying every space that I go in to really, I don't care what my title is. I don't care how much money I make. Like, let's just lock arms. And like, also, how can I help you? It's not just what you can do for me. How can I help you?
Awesome. That's what we love about you, Tiffany. Yes.
And I know how much your life revolves around travel, maybe fast or slow, or getting stuck at airports or whatever that might be. But I'm constantly connected with you, so I know where you are and how your life is, how stressful it can be at times. So what do you do to unwind and, most importantly, recharge and get back with that same energy?
Yeah, that's actually a really big question, because I think we get so focused on like the things that we're doing, especially like if you're a doer or I don't know, very like productivity minded, but you cannot, it's like the airplane example, like until your oxygen mask is on first, you cannot help someone else. And so it's funny because I know that I am on the go a lot. I do travel a lot. I do a lot of things, but the reality is I do take a lot of downtime. Downtime just looks a little different for me. Downtime is a vacation with either my husband or my family, or I do love girls trips. Also, if I'm on a work trip I make sure that I'm filling my own cup with like, okay, I've spent company time. Now let me go explore a little bit on my own. I read. Reading is one of my favorite things. It's actually probably the only time I get to like super hardcore focus because I'm sitting in one place. And audibles are hard for me. Podcasts are great. I can do that. But reading content, because usually I'm reading a book that like I need to like be taking even mental notes. And so like driving and doing that is like hard for me. I'm ADD. So there's another fun fact for you. So I need to like hold the book and like
me too.
Highlight it and write. But reading is downtime for me because it is calm. I'm intentional about what I'm reading, things that fill me up. And then honestly, my biggest, hugest place that I am very intentional about is spending time with people. If you can't tell, I love people. Like people are my thing. So I spend time with people that do fill my cup. Like there's a lot of spaces I'm focused on helping others and I never want to change that. But sometimes it's a lot of people taking versus like giving. And that's okay. I'm not in it for what comes back for me, but I do make sure that I'm intentionally surrounding myself with certain people that I will make sure time is there and I will make sure time is invested because I leave so full. Like, and being filled up is how you go then pour out into other people. So I would say, I do like spa days too, but like reading is a big thing for me, spending time, like intentional time with people that fill my cup, and then just creating those boundaries with work of like, this is now my time, and that's totally okay.
I think this is such a great message, Tiffany, for everybody that is watching or listening, right? There are so many times in our life when life is busy in general, right? We are so busy all of the time. And I say this to my clients all the time because they'll come and say, as opposed to they'll give an excuse that I don't really have the time to do something whenever it's to do something with themselves. And I tell them that the universe is never going to clear your plate and say that, okay, here's a chunk of time when you have nothing going on. Now do whatever. So it is so possible to follow your purpose, do your work, and find little pockets of time for yourself to recharge your own battery. It doesn't have to be something like really big or anything, but reading a book for 15 minutes, if that's what it takes. If you like cooking, just do something make something for yourself, whatever that is. This is great message, Tiffany. Thank you. My next question is, of course, we spoke about time and we spoke about our busy schedules and all of that. Is there a hobby that you wished you had more time to pursue?
Before we jump back in, a quick thank you to Women in Technology of Northwest Arkansas for being part of this journey. We cannot thank them enough. They continue to create space for women to grow, connect, and lead in tech. Let's get back to the conversation. Honestly, reading is it. Just because when you start reading, like, I think you made a really good point of like, okay, am I going to sit down to read when I actually have time to read a whole book? I'm never going to be able to read then, right? Because I think it's okay, like sit and read for 15 minutes. But I do wish I had a little bit more time because it recharges my mind and body in a different way, even my soul, right? Like again, I'm pretty intentional about what I read and the types of information that I take in. And so I do wish I had a little bit more time for that. But like you said, we make time for what we can. And I think I'm actually going to start focusing on the 15 minutes because I have 2 really great new books that I have gotten and I haven't started because I'm like, I know I don't have more than 10 minutes, but maybe if I just did a 10-minute here or there, it'd give me a little bit of a charge. So I do wish I had a little bit more time.
What are you reading, Tiffany?
Okay, so I have actually read the Let Them book by Mel Robbins twice. Same book, same words, but I feel like at 2 different points over a year, and I needed something completely different. The Broken Rung by the authors are from McKinsey Group. I'm trying to get the exact name. Ellengrad and Martinez. It is The Broken Rung, and it talks about, so I also am, like you guys know, like not just job wise, but as a human, I am fueled by data. So I need data points. Like give me data. It's black and white. Emotion is removed. And The Broken Rung talks about where the disappearance of women actually starts. So we do come in, we have more entry level than we do. The 28% is kind of overall, but we do have a good amount that come in entry level, but that senior manager level is the broken rung where they start falling off. But it really talks about the data points around that. And then I just got a book. Well, Brene Brown's Dare to Lead is one of my favorites. I really love Brene Brown. And I just got a book called The Invisible Woman. It's one of the ones that is sitting there waiting to start. I got a recommendation when I spoke in New York a couple weeks ago at a Women, Data, and AI session. It was a recommendation. So yeah, I'm a book girl. Like I just love information. I love to learn. I love to grow, and books are it for me.
Nice. Very nice.
Okay, so the next question I'm going to ask you, usually this is a common question, but usually there is a very, very low possibility of that even becoming a reality. But in your case, I will not be surprised if it became a reality.
Yeah.
So if someone made a movie about you, what what would it be called, and what would you like to play in as?
And we are coming on set every day.
Yes,
I'm booking right
absolutely.
now.
Yeah, and I'll watch that movie a
Okay.
million times.
All right. So there is a movie being made, but I'm almost I'm closer than not to being finished with my second book called Little Girls and Boxes. And so I would like that to be the movie. I don't know if that's what they would do, but I know a lot of what I talk about and a lot of what I consistently pursue is that we as women, I feel like we're always being pushed to fit in particular boxes. Like, I think about the things again earlier in my career. Don't be too loud. Don't wear bright colors. Like, make sure your lipstick and your nails are neutral. I mean, just the silly things like that, but like that are the essence of who I am. Like, if you know me, I'm going to have colors on. Like, I'm going to be wearing colors, and I'm probably not today, like lipstick, and I'm going to be wearing animal print because it's my personality. And as silly as that example is, like, I was just taught over time, as a woman, there are things that you do and there are things that you don't do, but I don't actually know who made all these rules. And so the character that I would like to play in that movie is the same one that I'm trying to play in everyday life. Is I'm going to break and bust all of those stereotypes down, and to create, and not for myself, but for our girls that are coming behind us, where they feel like they can truly do anything they want to do, and that there's a whole horde of us ahead of them that are creating space to do that. So boxes or labels don't even exist, right? They just get to freely roam. And so that is truly like the actor I would like to play in that movie, because it's exactly what I'm trying to play in this real life of just, I don't know. Like, I think if you sit back and think about all the rules of the things that you were told, or maybe even are still told, like, who made that rule and why do we not question it? Like who said, and like, what value did they carry? And then being conscious enough to say they can make whatever rules they want, but I don't have to follow if that rule isn't just, if that rule isn't humane, and if that rule isn't serving me. I get to choose. Again, I'm not referring to laws. Please follow the laws. I'm saying in general, these other rules that are made, especially around gender and roles and things like that, it's really a crock.
So the name of the movie is going to be Little Girls and Boxes, and you are going to play yourself. Okay, just to make that clear. That's awesome. And yes, I agree with this because there's so much of that in our daily lives also. Can you word it this way? Maybe if you would have said it in a different way or a different tone, it would have gone better. And I don't see any men getting that kind of feedback, like. So yeah, I completely agree with you. Now, talking of movies, and you very quickly and briefly mentioned a book, but is there a dream that is yet to come true? And let's put it on a vision
board. And we're
board.
not 28%. That I walk into a room and I'm not the only woman leader. Like, that is my dream. And, like, I will just not, this is something I say often to many people, especially parents around the girls in tech that come and talk to me about the work that's being done, is like, I'm never going to stop fighting until I'm on this earth. And I'm not the only one fighting. There's a lot of us that are fighting. And so the more we can really like fight together just to, and fighting to be equal is so different. I mean, I'm like preaching to a whole choir of people that totally understand this even on a different level than I do, right? But like, having to fight just to be equal is so stupid. Like, I mean, it just is, it's dumb. Like, I've experienced this past week something so, and I'll just briefly share this without going into a bunch of things because I don't want to get super political, but so my family at this point is partially in Charlotte, and my son, which is half Hispanic, called me this week, and I was in San Francisco, and so it was like 4:30 in the morning for me, and he was like, Mom, ICE is at my job, and I don't know what to do. Like, am I okay? Like, what do I do? And I don't know. Like that was just like it was just being raw and real. Like that was a hard moment for me. Like I didn't know what to tell my child to do. Like my son that is a born American, afraid to like go to work because of his heritage and like, is he going to be snatched up? What does he do? Does he have a social security card on him? I mean, it's absurd. And so I really like, I want us to continue fighting for not just the tech space, but equality and just being humane. Like, it should not be that hard to be a good human being, and I really just want us to continue to fight for that for each other.
Yeah.
Sorry.
You.
No, you're good. You're good. This is what this is all about, right? Like we want to see the real Tiffany and show how strong you are to everybody who's watching this. Speaking of strength, what characteristics or traits of an animal do you relate to? So what is your spirit animal?
Okay, this one. Oh, okay, listen. So again, not really a rule follower, so I'm going to give you two.
Okay.
Number one, I have always wanted to be a unicorn, LOL, but I love unicorns. And I love them not just because of like the colors and the like shiny, but I love them because everyone thinks that they're not real. But I mean, who is defining reality? Right. I mean, I think you can be whatever you want to be. And I mean that by like, we coin things like in the tech world, the people that can really navigate between tech and business, often product being that role, but there are several, but we're coined the unicorns because not many folks can do and play both sides. And so unicorn for sure, which just for another fun fact, and judge me if you want to, actually don't give a shit, but I actually have a unicorn tattooed on my side.
Oh, really?
Yes, I do. And
Nice.
then the second is the lioness. So hardcore lioness, that is definitely my spirit animal because everyone sees the lion, but it's actually the lioness that runs out front and is protecting and taking care of all the things like we do as women. But she is the strength of the herd, whether she is at the front or not. And so I actually also have a lioness tattooed on my arm.
Nice.
They're my reminders, so I don't forget.
Okay, so just flipping the script right quickly here. Sapna, what's your spirit animal? Or
mine's a tigress.
Yours is a, oh yeah.
Yes, it has always been, always been. I feel like I can really relate, resonate all characteristics of a tiger, a tigress, and yeah, very close. You'll see pillow covers, shower curtains, anything in my house, bed sheets, a lot of tigers everywhere in my house. So.
Interesting.
I know,
For me,
sounds
I feel
weird,
like
but it's so true.
for me, I resonate with a bear. I'm cute and cuddly like that, but oh, I can be ferocious. Like you mess with me or I don't like something, I can be real just like that. Okay, I think we are running out of time. So one of our last questions for you, Tiffany, that when you founded Women in Tech, right? Did you foresee that you will be here in this space with like so many, how many chapters have opened now? How
Just
many?
launched this past Monday, our 11th.
Oh, wow. Like 11 chapters in the country and just so much impact, so many women just gearing up to like, uplift each other and help each other. Thoughts on that?
Yeah, I had zero vision. I moved back to Northwest Arkansas for a job. I truthfully just wanted to go hang out at another woman, like a women in tech group. There weren't any. And so I created a table. You guys know I'm big about tables. Like I am not begging for a seat at your table. Like if I'm not welcome at your table, and also if I go to your table and I know you're going to talk about me when I leave, I'm not sitting at your table, nor do I have to. So I'm going to create a table, and we can all, it's not a Tiffany thing. Like we can all start creating tables, right? Instead of begging for seats like we have since the beginning of time at people's tables, just go make one, or go sit at one. You don't have to make one either, right? Like go sit at one that you are truly welcome. But that was really, it was just, I wanted to go to someone's, and then created a local one. And it blew up, not because of me. It blew up because there was a need. So the only time anything ever truly like blossoms to, and in that speed, is that people needed something that wasn't there. So
Yeah.
that is the need. And then and there was no vision for expansion either. Like, again, I didn't even dream about having a group, much less like expanding, especially all over the US. But the reality is people started seeing the power of social media, right? Like people started seeing little Northwest Arkansas that like some people actually don't even know really exist, right? But they started seeing the amazing things we were doing together, not what
Mhm.
Tiffany was doing, like what we were doing together as a community. And they were like, we wish we had that. So
Mhm.
great, there's a need. So you guys know, like if there's a need, let me figure out what I can do to help do that. And I can't do everything and I can't save everything, but that becomes the beautiful team and leadership team and advisory board. All of that is what makes women in tech. It's not me, but we found a way to go and duplicate that and replicate that in the other places. And we take on a lot of the national burden so they don't have to worry about like taxes and 501c3 and all that. We take care of all that. They get to truly just go operate with change and impact in their communities. We set the overall mission and vision, but they get to decide in their city how they want to do that. We don't just say, oh, go redo everything we did. That might not
Yeah.
work for your city. So we
Yeah.
give you some guidance and governance so you're not on an island like trying to figure this out. But at the same time, you can take that and make it what you need. So the answer is I never had a vision for that. It's still every single chapter that gets released. I'm still sitting there as those leaders are talking at every soft launch because soft launch is their first and then they do the big community hard launch. And as I'm listening to them talk, it's still every time it's like, oh my gosh, this is so beautiful and incredible. And I'm just here for it, not because of anything other than I see what it's actually doing for people in their communities.
Yeah. That's well said.
Absolutely.
And kudos to you and your team. I know you're saying that there wasn't a vision and maybe there wasn't an intentional this thing 5 years down the line. Maybe there was no roadmap like that. But at the same time, I feel like you guys did a really good job on anticipating what the needs would be and how like created opportunities based on that anticipation, right? Like there's a structure to women in tech. It's not like who just come and sit and do anything that you want, right? There are opportunities for learning, there are opportunities for growth, connecting with hiring managers. There's a monthly event, there's a quarterly event, this and all of those things I imagine evolved over a period of time, but I think it was done intentionally, anticipating the kind of impact and opportunities that people were needing, right? So big kudos to you and the team for doing that. It's an amazing organization and I think you should all be very proud.
I always say, I told you a few days ago too, that every time I go into a meeting, there is a new chapter that has joined with us. So it's so great to see how the wings are
Yeah.
growing and how higher we are flying. It's simply amazing to just be a part of it. But three F's come to my mind when I think of you, and one is focused, the other is fearless, and the third is fair. You are focused, fearless, and extremely fair in everything you do, and it all shines through your passion, your light shines through. Not just, KJ and I are just two people who are
Yeah.
here that everybody can see, but there are tons and tons of women you don't know who are so influenced by you.
That's amazing.
Thank you. It means a lot. I actually I told Sapna the other day, she gets a little bit more raw and real version of me. I mean, the reality is you do have to be careful about access and not in a weird way, but just of like how deep you go with people because there's a whole lot that sometimes isn't great and you just don't want to give every single thing away. But I am able to share a little bit of vulnerable things with her and I will just come and share that with all of you today. But I was kind of telling her, I was like, not one thing that I do I care if like there's like acknowledgement or you know what I mean or like, oh, Tiffany did a good job. Like I actually like this is terrible and I own this, but it's slightly uncomfortable for me. Like if you've ever heard someone read your bio, like for a lot of us women, we've been talking about this like with executive women, they're like, it feels so weird every time someone reads my bio and I'm like, I know, but we did do these things, so yeah. But I told her, I said, like, our organization was nominated for an award in the Indian community. And I know it's a very big deal, like getting that award. And I just told her, I was like, thanks for seeing me. You know what I mean? Because, like, I don't care. And I actually never even stopped to say, like, oh, you know, like, I don't care about those things. They don't fuel me, right? Like, grateful, but they don't fuel me. And I think as human beings, and I know we're like coming on the end of this, but I think as human beings, just seeing other people. You don't have to like do something. You don't have to financially do anything. You don't have to pay anything. Like just telling someone I see you, or just in some way, shape, or form today as you leave, like make someone like feel seen or heard. Just one person. If you just did one person, and all of us just did one person, just imagine the impact on our world. And I think that's the lens we need to, no matter what space you're in, if you're in technology, if you're in this or that, like there are basic things as humans we can do that can really help continuing to lift each other. And I think that is what our world needs most right now.
That's awesome. And we're ending on such a great note. We should have asked the question, is there one advice? And you already gave it. So thank you for that. I know Sapna also. We love you, Tiffany, and we really, really admire you. And I am so happy that I get to know you and learn from you. So thank you for being raw and authentic and fun with us today.
Yeah, and thank you for coming without any expectations, without knowing what you're coming into. And thank you for letting us do this.
Yeah.
Thank you guys so much for this. Again, I had zero idea what to expect, but I know that I fully trust you ladies. And I do think that the world does deserve the authentic version, because that's what we're talking about all the time, of all of us. And yes, it doesn't mean you have to give every piece of yourself away, but I do think more than just what people see on social media, it does help to dig a little deeper. So I was honored to be on the other side of this today and just grateful. I know that time is of essence for all of us. So thank you so much for investing, not just in me all the time, but into this community, into other women, because you both do that in an incredible way. So I'm just so grateful.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Happy Friday.
To our listeners, thank you for listening into this. You definitely got to see a different side of me today, which I'm totally okay with and here for. But continue following. We've got other really cool episodes lined up. So subscribe, like, listen in. If you've got ideas on different episodes you'd like to see and hear that you haven't, reach out and let us know. Otherwise, until next time, we'll see you guys soon.
Bye.
Bye. You've been listening to the Women in Tech Trailblazers podcast. Thanks for being here. If something resonated with you, please share this episode with your friends, your colleagues, or anyone you know that needs to hear it. And don't forget to subscribe to catch what's next. We'll be back soon with more real stories and honest conversations. Until then, keep showing up and let's keep making space at the table.